This video is for those people that were gone on Thursday. This is the stuff that the sub went through. First of all, it was a homework on page 738. I'll just kind of quickly go through these screens and you can see the answers and fast forward through it if you don't have any questions. Here's number 21. Again, here's our standard form over here. And so we look at that and we see the vertex is 0, 0, the focus 0, 1/2, so P would equal 1/2. So when we plug a 1/2 in here, 4 times a half is 2, so that would be 1/2 goes there, and then 0, 0. Here you have the vertex 0, 0, so the directrix y equals 1, so that tells you P is 1. It opens down, so it's negative. So you put a negative in the 1 over 4p, put a negative 1 in there, that would be negative 1/4. Okay, again, vertex 0, 0, directrix x equals negative 1, so p is 1. It opens to the right, so that's positive, so the vertex is 0, 0, and then 1 over 4p, put a 1 in there, you get 1/4. Now, again, notice this for time, it's x minus h equals 1 over 4p, and then it's the y that's squared when it goes sideways. 29, they give you a point on the parabola, so that's x and y, and then the vertex is 0, 0, so you put your 0, 0 in there for h and k, you put your x and y in for 6 and 4, and you figure out what p is, and p is 2/3. So when you put 2/3 right there for the p, you get 8/3. So you get 1 over 8/3, which would be 3/8, and so that's where that came from. The vertex goes back into there, just like you did up here. So vertex goes in for h and k, and then the x, y are back in the equation, and there's your answer. 31, again, they give you a point on the parabola. They tell you it's a vertical axis of symmetry, so you know it opens this way, so 0, 0, negative 2, 5, so it's got to go like that. So you put, again, 0, 0 in for h and k, you put 5 and negative 2 in for your x and y, because you know this is x minus h, you know this is the y minus k because it opens sideways. And so you find out p is, cross multiply here, you get p is 25/8. And so when you put 25/8 right here, when you take 4 times 25/8, that cancels and you get 25 over 2 for your 4p. So 1 over 4p, 1 over 25 halves, you invert that multiply, and you know it's negative because it opens to the left. 35, want to get the y's, the squared term over here and the x over here, divide that. So we know that this is, the vertex is 0, 0, because we know that's x minus 0. And we know that negative 1/6, we know that's y minus 0 squared, like that. So the vertex is 0, 0, and then you got to figure out what p is, and you know that's negative, so negative 1 over 4p equals negative 1/6, cross multiply like that. So you get negative 4p equals negative 6, or p equals 3/2. So you know, since we know the vertex is at 0, 0, and it's negative, it opens to the left because the y is squared, and so it opens left, and so we're going to go 3/2 this way, so that's x equals 3/2. And then the focus would be 3/2 this way, negative 3/2, 0. 39, we got to get this equation into our standard form, so we're going to move the x, the squared thing over here, so it'll be negative. We're going to divide by 8. So now we have our vertex would be 1, negative 2 is our vertex. We take our negative 1/8, set it equal negative 1 over 4p, cross multiply, negative 4p equals negative 8, so p equals 2. And so if our vertex is right here at 1, negative 2, we know this is a y equals, so it's got a, and it's negative, so it opens down. So we're going to go 2 up to our directrix, so that's y equals 0. And we're going to go 2 down to our focus, and so that's 1, negative 4 for our focus. 41, again, we want to get the x squared, so I'm going to flip these around. I'm going to divide by 4. So here's our vertex, negative 3/3/2. So that's right there. 1 over 4p is our 1/4, so p is 1. So we're going to go 1 down, 1 up. So if we go 1 down, that's at 1/2, y equals 1/2. And if we go up 1 from 3/2 or 1 1/2, that'd be 2 1/2. Our 5/2. So -3, 5/2 would be the focus. And 55, we got the vertex here, 4,3. We got the focus at 6,3, so we know that's 2. We know it opens sideways, so it's got to look like this. We know the P is 2, so that makes this 1/8. Our focus, our vertex, so 4 is going to go by the X, 3 is going to go by the Y, and there it is. All right, here's a warm-up problem that we did. So if you want to look, try those two. You might pause the video right now because I'm going to go ahead and show the answers here. So if you want to try those. All right, here's the first one. So we want to get this. This is where we have to complete the square. So we're going to take the x squared minus 6x right here, and then leave a blank. We're going to take half of that. 6 is 3. We're going to square it, makes 9, but we got to balance it, put the 9 over here. Now I went ahead and moved the y's, the 5 over here. So I wouldn't have had to do that yet. I could have left them on this side and done a +9, -9 right here, but instead I added 9 to this side. So the -5 and the 9 makes 4, so that would make 4y plus 4 over here. Then I can take out a 4, I get y plus 1. On this side I get x minus 3 squared. And then I'm going to flip those around because I want the square over here. Then I'm going to divide by 4, and so now I've got my standard form right here. Okay, so the vertex would be at 3, -1, because there's my x, and that's my y. 3, -1. 1 over 4p is right here, so we know p is 1. So that means if 3, 1 is my vertex, if 3, -1 is my vertex, I'm going to go up 1, so my focus is going to be right there at 3, 0. I'm going to go down 1, that'd be y equals -2. My axis of symmetry goes right to there, which would be x equals 3. For number 2, we've got, right, in standard form, if the vertex is at 4, 0, and the directrix is x equals 5, that means it's got to open away from the directrix, so that's 1. P is 1 right there, and it's negative, so that makes -1 over 4p to be -1/4. 4, 0, so 4 goes with the x, and 0 goes with the y, and there's my equation. Okay, now you can try these. You might pause the video and try this. You're going to find the focus, vertex, directrix, axis of symmetry. Okay, here's your answer to this one. Work it out real quick. Complete the square would be 4. And then I'm going to add a -4, subtract 4, and then I got 6y minus 2. So now I got x squared plus, I got x plus 2 all squared. And here I have plus 6y minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to take a 6 out of there. I want the x plus 2 squared to be over on that side anyway, so I'm going to take a 6 out of this. Oops, that's minus 1. And I'm going to move this over there. Now I'm going to divide by 6. And so I have y minus 1. Oops, don't need parentheses there. -1/6, x plus 2 squared. So that gives me my vertex is going to be at -2, 1. My focus, so I got to figure out p, so -1/6 is equal to 1 over 4p. I get negative, when I cross multiply, I get -4p equals 6. I get p equals -3/2. When I put -3/2 into this, I get so just -3/2. So if I think of my vertex, -2, 1 would be here. So, and this is y equals parabola, so it's going to open down like this. So I'm going to go down 3/2 to my focus. So that's going to put me right below there. So that's going to be at -2, -1/2. Because I'm going down -1/2. And for the directrix, I go up 1/2. So I was at 1, I go up 1/2, that's 2/2, so my directrix is y equals 2/2. My axis of symmetry is going to go through here, which is -2, and x equals -2. Okay, here's 48. You can pause the video, try that one. Okay, here's that one worked out. X squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 1 plus 8y plus 9. 0, x minus 1 squared plus 8y plus 8, 0. 0, so I'm going to leave these over here and take out 8. I'm going to move the square to there. I got y plus 1 equals -1/8 x minus 1 squared. So that's everything I need. So my vertex is going to be 1, -1. This parabola is opening down like the last one, so 1, -1 is there, going to open down. The p, -1/8 equals 1 over 4p. So cross multiply, -4p equals 8. P equals -2. So we're going to go down 2 from there for the focus. So that would be 1, -3. For the directrix, we're going to go up 2. So that would be y equals 1. And for the axis of symmetry, it's going to go down through there. So that's x equals 1. Okay, here we're supposed to write the equation of this one. So we know a point on the parabola. That's, okay, so you might pause the video and do this one. Okay, now we know this point is our xy, and we know this point is our hk. So we're going to have, and this opens down, so this is going to be a y equals parabola, so it's going to be y minus 1 equals, and we don't know the p, and we're going to have x minus 3 squared. Now we can put our xy into there, so our 0 we can put into here. Should have done that probably the first step, but and then we're going to have 2 minus 3, so that's -1 equals 1 over 4p. -1 squared is 1, so -4p equals 1, p equals -1/4. So when you put that into 1 over 4p, when you put -1/4 into there, times 4, that's -1. So this is going to be y minus 1, so we put that back up here, equals -1 times x minus 3 squared. So there's our equation. 59, try this one. Now we know the focus, so you're going to probably want to do a graph on this one. 2, 2 would be up here. Directrix, x equals -2, so that's a total distance of 4, so you know the vertex has to be right in between. It's got to wrap around the focus like that, so p would be 2, is what we know from that information. So, and our vertex we know is 0, 2 now. And so this is a sideways parabola, so it's going to be x minus, our x coordinate here is 0. Equals 1 over 4p, that'd be 1 over 8, and then y minus 2 on our vertex, or 2 right there, squared. So there's our equation. Okay, and then we did an activity with just matching up some circles, and matching up the circle and the radius, but looking at a circle and matching the equation to it, basically. All right. And then you can attempt some of these. They went ahead and worked on some of those in class. And then the worksheet right here, hopefully you picked one of those up. If not, I'll have a copy of it, a PDF copy on the website. And here are some IXLs to add to your list. These are on parabolas. They don't take a real long time, but those would be good to work on. And Friday we'll review all this stuff. Parabolas and circles, and we'll probably be doing a quiz on Monday on parabolas and circles.